Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Shrine of Anubis. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back and nice to see you again. So, for tonight's topic, we are going to be talking about when a god or goddess shows up and the whole gang, too. And first of all, I know I'm always wearing the same old jacket for a majority of these videos. It's just that I tend to be cold most of the time, so please forgive me for wearing the same shit. So, on to the topic for this video. This is a very popular inquiry that I do see a lot in the Tumblr community. When it comes to baby witches and people who are new to working with gods and goddesses. You might feel attracted to Anubis. Maybe you have heard a calling. Maybe he called you. You started to work with him. But then Osiris has come through. And then Isis. And then Hathor, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other, and then the other, and the other. And when you least expect it, you have an altar full of figures, perhaps, or picture frames of all these other gods and goddesses that came out of nowhere. And you might be wondering, why? Well, you have to look at why the deity is after you in the first place. Now, there's a very fine line here because not every deity is going to approach you with good intentions. This is why it's very important, and I know, shocker, but I mean, we have Seth going on in the corner and Apep, if I am not mistaken. I think I might be confusing the name. I'm not sure. I need to brush up on that part. There is a lot to learn when it comes to ancient Egyptian history. But not all deities have your best interest in mind, which is why it's important that you use psychic protection and also that you have a connection of sorts with your higher self, with your guides, angels, if you believe in that type of thing, maybe not. So depending on your beliefs, you do want to be protected. You don't want to open your energy up to others who may not have your best interest in mind, and that is something that I have to say because I have dealt with that myself. However, for the sake and purpose of this video, let's focus on why a god and goddess shows up and then the whole gang too. I want to say to you that this is very common, more than you can possibly think. So if you feel that Anubis is not the only one calling out to you, you are not alone. Quite literally. I believe that we all have our own army. It's just that many of us do not remember. And those of us who are doing the work, we might be able to recall and know some of them, but we will never be able to really get to know all of them. If you believe in past lives, you might know that past family members, or friends or lovers, and so on and so forth, could be your guides in this lifetime. So, again, depending on your belief systems, you might believe that you have assigned guides or angels for this lifetime, but you can also have people from other past lifetimes as well, helping you from the other side. And when it comes to gods and goddesses, it's not very different as well. If you have had past lives, for example, in ancient Egypt, it is very likely that you will still feel attracted to the country, to the history, to the mythology and the gods and the goddesses. And it's very likely that you probably are working with one or some of them. And so to bring the focus back onto the title of this video, why does this happen? So why this could happen to you, because it can differ by person. Usually it's because you have a quality or qualities that they really admire in you, and they would like to help you and further assist you in developing that or those skills or abilities or qualities that you have within yourself. So that's one thing. Another thing can also be that this is also a past life thing. If you believe in that sort of stuff, it could be that you shared a connection with them in a past lifetime, whether it was in a temple or maybe outside a temple. Perhaps you were a passerby or a citizen, from example, from Egypt back in the day, and you felt attracted to those who were in a position of power, who had their temples and worshipped these gods. So those are two options that I can think about right now. And the third one is that some of them are in charge of very specific things. So Anubis may not help you, for example, with love drama, but there could be another deity that could help you to solve your issues in your love life. And the reason why they might come through to you is because they can hear your calling. Oh my gosh, my ex left me. I want them to return. I want to do this spell to make them obsessed with me for abandoning me. And Anubis is like, you know what I mean? Like, do you get where I'm trying to get at here? So that could be a third option, as well as to why you might attract the whole gang as well. And also, a bonus part that I want to add here, a fourth option, could be that they simply want to get to know you. And I know that sounds so simple and basic, but sometimes spirituality is not really that complicated on certain things. Certain things, mind you. So there are times when things are not necessarily that complicated or have to be that complicated. So if you work with Anubis, you might attract someone close to him who might feel curious to get to know you. And this is also a way on how the gods and the goddesses study us and see if we have something that they could then get interested and might then approach you to work with you. Usually it's a mutual agreement between the god or goddess and the person, aka you, so that this connection or interaction or relationship between the god, goddess, and you can take place. So sometimes within the fourth option, they might get close to you just to get to know you, just to see who you are, how's your energy like, just to understand. Because I take it that they're all like, telling each other things, maybe about us, maybe shit talking about me and how I leave the beer in the altar and how I don't declutter often enough. So I just take it like that they have their conversations, perhaps about the people that they work with. And it could be that some of them get an interest in getting to know the person. And maybe if there is an interest in them or in the person, and if it's mutual, maybe even start to work together as well for a purpose or goal. maybe a goal or purpose that perhaps you would not really work with Anubis for, or with somebody else to do this purpose or work, so to speak. So, there is nothing wrong if the whole gang shows up, but I do understand it can be overwhelming for you to handle everybody at once. If you are a lucid dreamer, astral traveler, psychic, clairvoyant, for example, it can be overwhelming to deal with all these energies coming in at once of deities that want to get to know you. So if you are going through something like this and you want it to stop, you can ask your patron god or goddess to speak with them and to tell them that you don't feel ready to work with any of them for the moment. This reminds me of myself back in 2013 or 14 when I had the goddess Bastet show up. I also had Maat show up in a dream, not exactly about wanting to work with me, but I was seeing her quite often. I also had Isis around as well. And that's just one pantheon, because at that time I was beginning to work with my other patron god, Hades, the Greek god of the underworld as well. I tried to keep Hades and Anubis separate in my altar because their energies clash, they don't get along, they made that very clear. So I tried to keep them separate. But I digress. At the time I had him and then the whole gang from Egypt, and I was like, no, I can't, I am overwhelmed. And I had to put everything into a stop, so to speak. And it was as simple as gently and respectfully addressing Bastet or Bast and telling her, with all my respect and love and humility that I have in my heart, I cannot work with you right now in this moment because I am overwhelmed with these other energies that are also coming in. So it wasn't just Anubis and Hades at once, but also the Norse god Loki with Bast, who were the ones that were contacting me at the time. Besides Isis and Maat, but I believe Maat was mostly just to give a message. But I still felt overwhelmed. So be clear, set your boundaries, and let them know. It's as simple as that. If the whole gang is showing up, you feel overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, you need time to process things, let them know. Be clear, set boundaries, and let them know in a respectful way that you cannot work with them for XYZ reason. And they will understand. Remember, all these energies, these gods and goddesses, anybody and everybody out there who is not in this physical plane can see beyond what we can see as humans, unless you're clairvoyant yourself. Therefore, they will be more compassionate and understanding than the average human. So do not feel guilty about declining an offer that a god or goddess is making to you if you feel overwhelmed or you simply don't want to. They will respect your choice, and if not, make sure you know how to protect and shield yourself so that you can back off and purge that energy out. And so, with that said, let me know down below in the comment section, have you had something similar happen? Or do you have the luck to be left in peace and only have one or two gods or goddesses that you work with? Let me know down below in the comment section. Also, let me know as well if you would like me to continue to feature Anubis next to me in my videos. whether it's related to him or not. I don't know. Let me know about that as well down below in the comments section as well. I always look forward to your feedback, and if you know about something that I don't know, I always invite you to let me know down below in the comments section, because I love to get feedback and I really appreciate all of you guys and what you guys have to say as well. I'm not a shit eater. I'm not a shit eater, so I actually pay attention to the emails and the comments that I get, even if I take a year to respond, maybe. So yeah, I'm trying to work on that, but I won't say anything because he's watching and he knows if I'm lying or not. But all I can say is I'm trying. So I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell button, and click on see all so that you get all the notifications of any future uploads that I'll be making on this channel. I'll let you guys go now, and I'll talk to you guys soon because I also have the giggles. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.